name is T. Levon Lawrence, and I'd like to welcome you to part 1 of 7 in the informational training video series, Mental Concentration versus Mental Focus. In part 1, we talk about their major differences. A lot of people want to know, how do I improve my mental concentration? How do I improve my mental focus? As a NeuroSculpting certified mental fitness trainer, those are the two most common requests I hear from people who want to realize more of their potential and who know correctly that they can make it happen through strategic brain training. I tell them, not a problem, we can help, but let's clarify. Do you want to be more focused, or do you want to concentrate better? Did you know they are not one and the same thing? If your answer to that question is no, rest assured you're not the only one. Most people don't know that there is a difference between the two. In this video series on mental concentration versus mental focus, I'll discuss briefly the difference between mental concentration and mental focus, some of the details that separate the two mental functions, tell you some great stuff about mental concentration, give you the important scoop on mental focus, talk about a few things that can get in the way of concentration and focus, go over some things you can do to gain strength in both areas in the correct order, and show you how acquiring those skills will help you reach your goals. Some facts about mental concentration. Dictionary definitions of concentration usually go something like this: direction of attention onto a single object, to gather into one body, mass, or force, to fix or hold in place one's powers, efforts, or attentions. Now, using those three characteristics as defined, you can reasonably express a view that concentration involves the full force of your attention, a single attention target, and the effort necessary to hold that full force onto the single target for extended periods of time. Dynamic mental concentration, what I like to call concentration in action, is the willful narrowing and directing of your attention to a specific activity, a specific object or other attention target, selected from among any number of options competing for your brain's mental resources, taking into account the factors of time duration and conscious awareness. The thing to remember about mental concentration is that it is a cognitive function that you employ right now in the present moment. Now, some facts about mental focus. Dictionary definitions of focus usually go something like this: a point at which rays, as with, say, light, heat, or sound, meet. A central point or center. Adjustment, as with the eyes, eyeglasses, or camera lens, that gives clear vision. I want to repeat that one. Adjustment that gives clear vision. So, using those three characteristics as defined, you can reasonably express a view that focus involves clearly defining a target objective, toward which you take center aim in applying all your energies and efforts to reach. Dynamic mental focus, what I like to call focus in action, is the consciously determined effort of controlling your attention in the process of creating, establishing, and maintaining an idea, an intention, or a state of mind over significant spans of time, generally in relation to the pursuit and achievement of a detailed vision, objective, or goal. This taking into account the factors of conscious effort. You've got to know that you are driving your own life. You can't be doing it just because people or situations are forcing you to, because that's not true mental focus. That's mental slavery. Controlled mental acts. Mental focus requires you to be not only the architect of your own destiny, but the captain of your thoughts, emotions, impulsive urges, and actions. When you've got those things in hand, your entire worldview expands. Significant time span. Whereas mental concentration happens in the present moment, right now, mental focus happens each and every day across a lengthy period of time. So, in reviewing the major differences between mental concentration and mental focus, we know that they consist of time frame, scale, and finally, you're talking about the disciplines involved. Time frame. Mental concentration is what you do to carry out a task right now without distraction, while mental focus is what you employ to achieve a larger goal that requires you to do the current task in support of it. Scale. With mental concentration, all you basically need to worry about is the power to control your immediate attention. And with that accomplished, your brain eventually rallies all its resources to enable you to maintain that concentrated mental state. Mental focus, on the other hand, involves moment-to-moment management of all your life resources, mental or otherwise, for the benefit of getting where you want to go. Finally, we're dealing with a major difference in the level of mental discipline involved. Mental concentration narrows your concerns to a single pinpoint experience here and now, while mental focus expands your mind's perception to take into account past and present experience, while you concern yourself with architecting a personal future of your own design. And although these differences are significant, I'd like to point out the one profound similarity that ties them all together, and that is conscious action. To become a master at either mental concentration or mental focus, you have got to wake up from your habitual mental habits and start living life in a new way that takes you out of the mindless grip of thought habits and places you in a position of being a tamer and architect of thought. More on that later in the series. For now, though, in part 2 of 7 of this series on mental concentration versus mental focus, we're going to talk about their important details. Hey, you can't master a thing unless you learn all you can about it. So make sure to check out part 2. Oh, and I know this has been a blast for you and you're eager to go tell your friends, but stick with me a moment for this helpful message. You can get some priceless mental training advice and guidance by tuning into our Blog Talk radio shows, the Mental Power Hour and Brain Training Minute. The Mental Power Hour is 60 minutes to 90 minutes of awesome training advice. These are training shows, not talk radio shows. Brain Training Minute gives you a few minutes of helpful direction and possibly some techniques you can use to help your daily life. You'll find hours, and I mean hours, of awesome material on everything from training your attention, thoughts, mental concentration, mental focus, impulse control, willpower, goal setting, goal achieving, defeating procrastination, mindfulness, to subconscious reprogramming. Feel free to tune in during any of the live broadcasts that I do, and call in to discuss mental training topics. We'll see you next in part 2 of 7.